Oh, now my legs are on fire from doing that weird pose for the whole entire SCP I just read. Oh, at least I hope that helps me being awake now, because I still have 5 more to go. I still got 5 more SCPs to go through. Otherwise, I'll stand up again if I need to stand up again. But I'm not going to that position again because that shit hurt. After a while, I felt like the burn in my crotch, and that shit. No, thank you. But maybe Venus statue. Venus is the goddess of beauty in the Roman myth, correct? Maybe it's just a beautiful statue, who knows? Maybe it's just a really nice statue. We'll see about that, shall we? Shall we go? Save. SCP-1575 is to be held in a 6x6x4 meter containment chamber at Biosite 23. I miss Spagel. Yeah, I miss him. I miss him watching this stream. Doing my SCP readings, I miss him. Biosite 23 with direct access to research laboratory 3 at same. Except when in use for testing, no water is to be allowed into SCP-1575's containment, and after testing, all water used to be held in quarantine for use in further tests. SCP-1575 is a marble statue standing approximately 2.75 meters high with an additional base of 0.5 meters. The statue is the depiction of Venus, Roman goddess of love, beauty, fertility, and seduction. Knew it. Clad only in wrappings from the waist downwards. Only wrappings, you say? Oh. Okay. The statue acts as a fountainhead. Damage to the base shows that it was likely intended as a permanent installation, with a single channel running from underneath the base up through a hole in the mouth. SCP-1575 shows no anomalous properties on its own, no two samples removed from the hole. An inscription on the base, partially obscured by the above-mentioned damage, indicates it to have been sculpted in the early 16th century for a private collection in Italy. Of course in Italy, where else? Any otherwise, fresh water which is allowed to pour through SCP-1575 in its nature as a fountain, henceforth referred to as -1, is shown to have mutagenic properties when consumed or otherwise introduced into a body. External application, including long-term submersions, does not trigger a mutation. Non-human mammalian creatures who consume at least 0.5 liters of -1 daily will begin mutating into a human being over the course of roughly 1 month, with an ethnicity roughly in accordance with humans native to the species' natural habitats. For example, a European deer will have primarily Caucasian features post-mutation, while a North American deer will have features like those of Native Americans. Curiously, most modern breeds of dogs and cats will have indistinct or mixed racial features. I'm not sure how I feel about animals looking human-like, because there's one thing that I can think of that this will look a lot like. This. Like, where all the animals suddenly have like human features and human intelligence. Yeah, like I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I don't think I need this. Yeah, it was sort of like creepy seeing like how like the elephant looked like this before, like a normal elephant, and then became that. It is, yep. Ooh, okay. Survivors of this process describe it as extremely painful, and it has an approximately 25% fatality rate for females. Males experience a 95. Did I skip something? Nope. Males experience 95% fatality rate, with most survivors having an androgynous appearance with non-functional or completely missing genitalia. Additionally, there's a 40% chance that the animal will retain one or more premutation features such as fur, paws instead of hands, and or feet, tail, non-human ears, etc. The final apparent age of the subjects is normally in accordance to the stage of life of the creature involved: prepubescent, adolescent, adult, elderly. It should be noticed that cases where the subject is gaining or losing a significant amount of mass, appetites, and bodily functions will shift to match. Please see the attached testing logs for specific information. After successful mutation is completed, subjects normally display an intelligence level typically for what is considered average for their species. Several subjects have shown a somewhat increased capacity for problem solving than is considered normal for the species. Whether this is due to neural restructuring or a byproduct of foundation testing is currently unknown. Many subjects which develop proper vocal cords are able to learn to speak, but typically only with rudimentary phrases of basic needs, such as food, sleep, play, etc. Similarly, most subjects are able to achieve full mobility within 2 to 4 weeks of stabilization, though manual dexterity takes far longer to perfect if the original species had simple paws or hooves. I'm still getting a huge gym man vibe, and I'm not okay with that. Dash 1 does not have any notable effect on a creature, personality, memories, or instincts. All carry over from the individual animal's existing self despite drastic restructuring of the brain. Domesticated animals typically retain previous levels of affection for humans, though the physical and mental trauma of the mutation process often leads to cases of depression and other psychological issues. Humans have not been observed to experience any notable effects when ingesting Dash 1. Non-mammalian creatures will mutate, but due to significant physiological differences, they will have a 99.9% fatality rate due to the drastic and incongruous physiological differences. Only 2 non-mammalian mutations were known to have stabilized. Neither had completely changed to a human form, and both were euthanized after brief study. Ooh boy. Itchy cheek. And then number 1, SCP-1575, was recovered from a facility named the Miracle Farm. Not really a miracle, is it? It's more of an abomination, to be honest. Previously owned and operated by Marshall Collin Dog. What is happening with today's reading? We have 2 SCPs in a row that have to do with like memories and like and places that you like have a strong connection to. And now Marshall Collin Dog appears twice throughout this reading session. Okay. The stated goal of the facility was to represent our clients with the finest in custom or pets, prey, and companions. Ugh. Mobile Task Force Theta 2 Morios Morg was able to secure the facility. On-hand personnel, attending clients, and living specimens in various stages of mutation only. Specimens were deemed fit for transportation and study. All other euthanized on site. Okay. Farm personnel and clients were detained for questioning, then given Class A amnestics and released. A cover story of a runaway file was implanted in their memories before release to explain the destruction of the facility. According to obtained records, at least specimens were known to be in possession of clients of Marshall Collin Dog. MTF Theta 2 current mission is to track down and recover or destroy said specimen. Thus far has been a lot of epic rap battles of history happening today, music-wise. Addendum 2, select testing logs. How big? Okay. Test 2, female Japanese field mouse. Apodemus argenteus, adolescent. I'm actually kind of curious how much of gym men we're going to get here. Subject expired after 12 days. Cause of death determined to be due to overall body size increasing faster than the cardiovascular system was able to supply. Subject had undergone a 500% increase in overall size, measuring approximately 1.1 meters. Subject had been observed consuming nearly 95% total body weight per day before expiration. a field mouse growing to 1 meter size is pretty. That's my leg. That's pretty big. Test 4. Male white-tailed deer, Odocoileus virginianus, pre-adolescent, partial transformation stabilized after 30 days. During mutation, subject suffered severe hemorrhaging in the pelvic area. Reproductive organs atrophied, rendered asexual by end of mutation cycle. Subject maintained tail and base for antlers, however, antlers do not grow beyond knobs, typical of yielding bucks. The subject's final appearance androgynous, but otherwise typical of Eastern Seaboard Native American. Is this... Now that I'm reading more, I just now realize, is this making furries? Technically? Or like the anime cat girls, like, you know, like mostly human, but there's still like small bits and bobs that belong to a cat on them. Test 6. Female Bengal tiger, panther tiger, tigris, adult. Subject expired after 4 days due to the cardiac arrest and failure of liver and kidneys. Due to the subject's aggressive nature, it was kept sedated during examination. It is believed that the sedatives disrupted the normal mutation process and caused the organ failure. Future subjects do not receive sedatives unless at least 80% stabilized. Test 9. Female domestic canine, Canis lupus familiaris of mixed breed, adult. Experiment aborted after 6 days. Aborted? That was discovered to have significant flea infestation as well as intestinal parasites. Said parasites were affected by -1. Testing procedures updated. Doctor sent notice to all staff working with SCP-1575. Yeah, I didn't think about like parasites being able to grow from this or be affected by this, which makes sense that they do. Female test 12. Female hyacinth macaw anodornicans here oh my god. Pre-adolescent subject expired after 20 days. Cause of death determined to be internal injuries suffered from extensive bone fractures. It appears that in this case, the subject's skeleton was not able to change at such a speed as to match the rest of the body. Differing muscle functions and the stresses of the mutation caused over 60% of the skeletal structures to break in various manners. Curiously, the extremities of the wings had already begun to split and appeared to have been forming into a crude hand analog. This is just the other way around of Animorph, you know? Instead of humans becoming animals and they feel like how the bones shift and everything, even though it doesn't hurt them, they can still feel it, like it still feels uncomfortable. Here, it's the opposite. It's an animal becoming human and it's full on uncomfortable and painful even. Test 15. Female grizzly bear, Ursus arctos horribilis, adult, mutation incomplete, stabilized after 32 days. Subject did not consume any food or drink besides -1 during the first 29 days of mutation. Subject Subject's excreta shown to contain excessive amounts of organic material, fatty deposits, blood, etc. Test 16. Female Grevy's zebra, also imperial zebra, Equus grevyei, adolescent, partial transformation stabilized after 27 days. Subject's main body hit hind legs and most of its head shifted to human with an appearance of a native African, while front legs and jaw structure remained most normal for a zebra. Subject showed extreme distress, difficulty of movement, and impairment while eating, euthanized after thorough examination. Wow, you just kill. It's technically human, man. It's technically human. I know it's still an SCP, but it's technically human. Addendum 3. Notice from Doctor regarding a minor containment breach involving SCP-1575. Following the incident of the 12th of this month, during the test 9, which is the dog with the parasites, any animal to be used in testing with SCP-1575 is to be thoroughly examined for both external and internal parasites. After initial belief that -1 only affected the primary host has proven wrong, it apparently retains its mutagenic properties even when they ingest a secondary even when ingested secondarily through the host's lower GI tract or blood system or bloodstream. We absolutely do not need another instance of a half-mutated flea creatures, and the psychologist is having a hard time helping Janet with her nightmares of a 7-foot-long tapeworm while with a screaming face staring out of the belly of a dog. Doctor. Yeah, that's fair. That's a lot of trauma you guys witnessed there. So it's not fully Jinman, because at the end, like, it's not fully Jinman, but I do think it's like a reverse Animorph. It's definitely a reverse Animorph. In my head, it is.